welcome back, everyone. I'm Alden,
And I'm Michaela.
and today we're going to talk about zombies. Yay!
Yes.
So, um, I'm going to go over a brief summary, and then we'll get into some discussions. So, basically, we have Seabrook, which is this perfectly preppy town, and then 50 years ago, the zombie apocalypse happened. There was all this kinds of chaos, and that created segregation. So, we have the zombies moved to Zombie Town, and the human stayed in Seabrook. So they introduced the Z bands, which are electronic bracelets that suppress zombie urges. And then we have the big change because when the movie opens, we find out that zombies are now going to go to Seabrook High with the humans, which is a huge deal. But however, Zed a zombie and Addison a cheerleader are two main characters. They meet and they fall in love, but because zombies still face discrimination and because of Addison's parents and Bucky, her cousin, they are discouraged to stay together. And Addison has a secret. Her hair is white, so she wears a wig in order to fit in. And then Zed hacks his Z band in order to be accepted by the football team. So lots of stuff going on. Like I said earlier, our main characters are Zed, who's a zombie who wants to play football. We have Addison, who's a cheerleader, and that's all she really wants to do is just cheer. She's a human. And then we have Eliza, which is Zed's friend, a tech genius who's also a zombie. Bonzo, his loyal friend, Zed's loyal friend, he's only speaks in zombie. And then we have Bucky and Bree, which are Bucky is Addison's cousin and the captain of the cheer team, and Bree is Addison's very quickly becoming best friend, who kind of has a thing for Bonzo at the end. So yeah, those are our characters. They're pretty interesting. So when we open, we have this cartoon thing going on explaining the whole zombie apocalypse. So my first question is, what are your thoughts on this cartoon prologue? Because, like, I think they did it for budget cuts because I think that's a lot cheaper than having to build a set where we actually have to see the zombie apocalypse
Oh, that
happen in
makes
live
sense.
action.
Yeah,
But what
yeah.
are your thoughts on it? Like, do you like it? Do you wish it was live action?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm glad you pointed that out because it's something that they do in every movie. So it's become kind of like just the way that they open it up, kind of their branding. Um yeah, now that you bring it up, I do feel like probably the biggest thing was the budget cuts. Because yeah, showing like a lot of that backstory would be very hard. But also I think because like the interesting thing with this whole franchise is that the first premise is zombies, And so
Yes.
like when you think of it for kids, like you don't usually think zombies for kids or you know what I'm saying? There's kind of some
Yeah.
darker stuff in that. So I feel like with the cartoon intro, it kind of makes it like palatable for like younger kids and it
Mhm.
makes it like not as scary. 'Cause like especially there is like a line of like, oh, like yeah, it used to be that dangerous that we ate brains, but they don't like show that happening ever or
Right.
anything. It's just kind of like, oh, breaking into a house. So yeah, I feel like they did it to just kind of ease the kids kind of into the world, make it not as scary. And also it kind of is like I think Descendants did a little bit similar
They
sometimes. I
did.
forget
It was
which
on an
ones.
iPad.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's kind of like those like movies where it opens up with a storybook, and it's like
Yeah.
opening the pages. So I feel like it kind of plays into that.
So it's worth noting that this is the second DCOM we're covering, and this came out in February of 2018. Big deal. And this was originally shot as a pilot TV show titled Zombies and Cheerleaders, which was going to star Luke Benward from Minutemen, and Maya Mitchell would have been Addison from Teen Beach Movie.
Wow. I feel like
Yeah,
I knew that it was supposed to first be a TV show, but I forgot about
the
that like
stars.
those yeah, that's insane. Wow, dang.
Yeah, which is super cool and interesting because this is the first DCOM to become a franchise where none of the lead actors were a main character on Disney Channel prior to the film's release.
Right, right.
Which is like kind of a huge deal because if you think about like High School Musical is like a great example where like Zac Efron was new and a lot of them were, but like Vanessa Hudgens was kind of on Sweet Life a little bit, so was
Mhm.
Monique Coleman, and then Ashley Tisdale was like starring on Sweet Life. So like
Yeah,
they
right.
often did that to like kind of pull people in. So it's kind of a first. And honestly, I think this was like kind of a great idea for the actors specifically because after they did Zombies, they really like moved up and like have done other things. I mean, they pulled
Oh yeah.
the girl who played Addison from American Housewife on ABC, but like
Hmm.
love Milo, he's amazing, icon.
Yeah. Breakout star. And it's like it's insane that
Truly.
this was his first like big role because he's so talented,
He
So I'm
really
glad
is.
that
I
he's been
know.
discovered since.
Disney loves him because now he's gonna be Flynn
Yes.
Rider. So excited for that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so when I was watching this, I think I've only seen it twice, including when I watched it today for this. The first time was when you had me watch it when we were roommates, because you were like, you're gonna love it, like, you
Yeah.
have to watch it. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I didn't hate it. I liked it. But
Hmm.
it's definitely not my favorite DCOM. I kind
Hmm.
of feel like I think this happens with more modern ones where like they're really trying to like get younger kids involved in it, which I understand that, but like I kind of feel like a lot of the writing just kind of goes down the drain because they're just trying because they just know who their audience is, which is younger kids. So it's kind of like wondering how you felt. Like for me personally, I thought all of the humans were like really annoying. Like they all just were annoying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that like their characters are they're exaggerated and like definitely exaggerating like the snobby, like ignorant parts and like just making that like super obvious. Like
Yeah.
this film wasn't really about microaggressions. It's like macro, so just stuff that like makes it really obvious of like, oh wow, like that's not fair. They shouldn't be treating them like that. So it makes that like morality like not gray. It's like very clear, like, okay, yeah, this
Yeah.
isn't right.
Yeah, I really liked kind of how they like represented segregation and stuff. Like I
Mhm.
because I mean, I'm, 23, so I have learned about segregation and stuff
Right.
and all of that history, of course, where kids probably don't know that. But like I noticed different things. Like
Yeah.
they had a specific entrance at the school that said normals and
Hmm.
zombies. And it like gave like very like Jim Crow era like vibes, just from like seeing that stuff. And they had like I liked
Yeah.
how they had the gate as like a visual representation, like for kids, like
Right.
because like also it was very clear that they were targeting kids who might not be able to read. Every note that was there, they read it out loud, just in case
Oh,
the
you're
audience
right.
couldn't read, which I thought
Yeah.
was good to do. But I think it's like
Yeah.
interesting how they
Yeah.
have like that visual separation where like, older eyes can kind of see that they have these signs that were very,
Mhm.
Jim Crow-esque and how they had like Zombie Town versus Seabrook. And like you could even
Right.
see in that scene where she goes to like join the zombie party or whatever, that like the nice Seabrook wall just kind of fades out into just like chain link fences where it's like no
Mhm.
zombies beyond this point, which I kind of want to talk about how they're handling like discrimination and segregation in this movie. I
Right.
think like I really think we're making progress because if you think about High School Musical, they're like, oh no,
Mhm.
like jocks and brainiacs can't be together. Like, whoa. And I think that's like very like high school, I'm sure, which is the point.
Yeah.
But then when we get here, like they're really tackling like racism in a way without really having race kind of play into it, which
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to introduce kids to this idea slowly. And I like how they're like doing it with something that's made up, like zombies versus something real. And they have Bucky be essentially a racist without ever having to call him that. And I think
Right.
like you automatically don't like Bucky because he is just like so mean to Zed. Whatever he
Mm.
was doing is wrong. And now I know like what this person I'm encountering in real life is like, whatever he's saying and doing is wrong. So I like these aspects, but I do think that there are definitely like nuances that they're missing. So I'm just kind of interested to like hear like your take on this.
Yeah, I feel like they were really bold with tackling this theme, especially yeah, in a kids movie. And I feel like yeah, like you said, I think it's great because it's just kind of something that unfortunately like a lot of people will experience. Yeah, I think the most common critique that I've heard with this whole conversation is like it is kind of interesting that they're tackling this topic, but then like the two main lead characters are white.
Like, yeah.
And then like especially because like there's so many diverse characters in the movie and like there is
Yes.
actually a lot of diversity and that's something that like when I first watched it I quickly noticed and I recognized some actors from like Canadian productions. So yeah, I'm gonna give out some shout outs. So yeah, Trevor Torjman, he was in this Canadian show called The Next Step, very popular in Canada and some other countries. And so he was one of the main, he was pretty much like the main guy for a lot of the seasons, and very talented. And then also Kylie Russell, I'm pretty sure she's Canadian. This is so random, but I actually saw her in this like short film that was on Disney for
Oh,
like when
yeah.
there was like Disney Now, like even before
Oh, yeah.
Disney
I
Plus.
remember Disney now.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
great.
And so she was in the short film, I think it was called like Reality High, and it was
Yeah.
ironically filmed at Loyola Marymount University, where we went to
Oh,
school
wait. I think
for.
you told me about that one time. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like that, I remember when I was watching, I recognized those two. And then I recognized Meg Donnelly from American Housewife
Yeah.
because my mom really liked that show. It was on ABC and like I'm pretty sure at that time ABC and Disney they were both together.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go back to your kind of question, I actually do like that they kind of make it race blind in terms of like t not talking about like race directly. And even like with all the characters,
Mhm.
it's like it's not like all the cheerleaders are white or all the zombies are
Right.
black or anything. It's like very diverse on both sides. I feel like it makes it kind of more relatable beyond just race because racism is a big topic in the movie, but there's like other
Mhm.
ways that people can feel excluded. It's not just, race. So I feel like by making that kind of not so literally black and white, it kind of just makes it more relatable for more audiences experiencing different kind of like discrimination or isolation there.
Yeah, I also liked how they sort of made like zombies like a culture. Like they're like
Yeah.
Bonzo has that
Yeah.
language barrier. He only speaks zombie, which is like I think
Right.
probably something that happens a lot in different areas. They have they have their own language. They have like their own cultural traditions. Like when we see like the
Hmm.
zombie party or whatever, like that was kind of cool
Yeah.
because he's trying to show off like parts of his culture. I also
Right.
noticed that they do have an interesting division with music because I think music is very, very
Yeah.
cultural. And so when we
That's a
see
good
like the
point.
opening number and they have like Meg and like all of the Seabrook people like sing this little song, and then we get to Zombie Town and they're like rapping and doing like some hip hop stuff,
Mhm.
which I thought was super cool because I think like music is just very culturally coded. So I do like how
Yeah,
they kind
yeah.
of separate it with music and that sort of thing.
And
So
aesthetically, like just the towns are so
yes,
different, the colors and
yeah.
just yeah, everything.
How do you think Zombies holds up as a movie?
Oh. I mean, I think it really does hold up. I know like one big difference from like the first one and I think all the other ones is that not to get technical, but like the ratio is different. So like the way that the first one is, it fits the TV, whereas
Okay.
the newer ones are kind of more movie format. It has like those black borders.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
so that's like a huge thing that I noticed when I was rewatching it. And even like the camera quality too, like there's a step up in like the other movies. Like one thing I really, really was noticing, or multiple things, was like the set design. The set design was so fun and colorful, and like
Yes.
it looked really good. Like it didn't look cheap. It didn't look like they were having to kind of like shoot really close up, or there were like big, expansive, fun sets. And the dance numbers were so good, and it just like so unique. And I feel like they did like a really good job playing around with that space and world building. I feel like this
For sure.
movie, especially being like the first one, it's really good at building that world. Like it just it's grounded in some ways. You have high school and humans and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
even like the human world is still kind of whimsical, like
Yeah.
pink is the school color, pink and green, and like it's kind of pastel and in some ways even with like the beginning scene where it's kind of saying like we live in like a perfect, like every street's perfect and everyone has perfect clothes, it almost kind of gives like a utopia futuristic, like a little
Yeah, that's
layer of
definitely on
that.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like it feels similar but different and like just both
Yeah.
sides, not even just the zombie side. And then yeah, with the zombie side, like that's also different as well. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it holds up really well because I feel like the songs are really good. Like really there's some bops. There's not really like the songs aren't like cringy or like they weren't made for like TikTok sound bites or anything
Right,
like
which I
that.
appreciate.
Right. The acting's great. Everyone, no notes. And I just love that like with this movie, like it went really big. Like this is so random, but one of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes is when Bucky like rips through the poster of his
Me
face.
too. I loved that.
Like it's just so extra but amazing, and just shows that they went like really fun with this movie.
Yeah, I appreciate how big it is. I do think I like the points we've touched about with like how they're kind of dealing with discrimination. I think like a lot of
Mhm.
that does hold up. And I do think like it's very important to mention like yes, there are things they could do better, but we have to keep in mind like this is for younger kids. If this was made for adults, like they would definitely have to like do a lot more things with nuances, but there's only so much a
Mhm.
child can understand. I do like a lot of it, but I do think like parts of it do get cringy. Like I think
Yeah,
my
yeah.
like
That's
biggest
fair.
note is that song at the end, Stand, where she reveals her hair. That whole
Oh,
song, I
yeah.
like I've heard about other podcasts where they critique this song, so I was like, now I gotta see like what I think.
Mhm.
I think it needs to be majorly reworked. Like, I get why we have to have it because she does have to like take a stand because that's like the whole point of this. But like, I mean, we get a montage of the movie we just watched right now.
Yeah.
Bucky has a verse, but I'm not really sure what's going on. And then I was like, is this entire song in her head until she takes off the wig? Because we like see the montage, which is in her
Mm.
head. Then we see Bucky like sing on the ground, but I was like really confused as like what he was doing there. And then all of a sudden, like the lighting and everything completely changes, and then like she's singing out loud, and everything comes out of slow mo, and I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, I remember the slow-mo and I didn't like that. It kind of was like it took you out of the movie and then I think
Yeah,
like it didn't you could like because it was slow-mo like it when she was singing it didn't look like it really matched. So that
it
also threw you
wasn't.
off. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Yeah, I think it could have been majorly reworked. I also like, I don't love the idea of the different hair. Like, I get why they had to have her have a secret to kind of compare with Zed. And I don't remember if it
Yeah.
was this movie or the second one where they point this out, but he does say, like, having a different hair color is not the same as being a disenfranchised person. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
there, there are fixes for her issue, and she does it with the wig. And doesn't she wear the wig in the other movies too?
She kind of does, yeah. Like I think that actually is a really interesting point because like they don't really address that too much like because yeah in terms of her if you will natural hair like they
Yes.
don't really actually have her wear it out like I think like the only thing that maybe they explained it but like not explained it but just visually is I think like in the later movies, her hair is like very blonde in this movie, but in especially with like the Alien one, like Zombies
Yeah.
3, that's kind of when her hair starts to be like more of a silver, white, almost violet. And I think even in Zombies 4, like it's not the blonde that it was now. So I guess like maybe they were like visually we're gonna show that she's wearing her like natural hair. But the thing was like her natural hair in this movie it was short. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
not
technically,
a
like
good
it
haircut.
it could grow, or maybe yeah, maybe she cut it, or I mean, there's a lot of lore actually in that like needs to be answered. But yeah, I feel like they don't fully have her hair kind of out, and I feel like that's like a whole issue. Like. Like not even just I don't know. It's like I just feel like hair in Disney like there's just so many conversations to be had.
What if Addison was just bald? Like logistically, that would make more sense for the wig. Like in her world, like it would be so much easier if she didn't have to like worry about her hair falling out all the time if she just was
Mm.
bald. Also, like there are bald kids out there, and like I'm sure
Yeah,
like that
that's
would
true.
probably ring truer because like there are
Mm,
kids who like have hair loss, whether it's because like it's
yeah,
a genetic thing or if it's like a cancer thing. Like I don't know.
right,
That would
right.
probably ring a lot truer. But then I think like she'd have to keep wearing the wig because they probably don't want to have like a bald person on Disney. I don't know.
No, yeah, like, and I think especially with girls too, like, I mean, there's just, I don't know what it is. Like, there is just a thing with Disney with like girls having long hair.
My next question. Um, What are your thoughts on the adults? I didn't like them. I thought that her parents were very, like, they felt kind of gimmicky in a way. Like, I didn't like them. I felt like they were trying to be funny, but like for kids, they're really not targeting
Mm,
adults or older people at all with this movie. Like
no,
the
no.
weird scene where they were like, Addison, if we don't meet this boy, you'll never cheer again. They have like his like police friend Gus or whatever over. Like
Mm,
that was just like they were trying to like do a thing with that. It just wasn't really working for me. Um, I like Zed's dad. Like I said earlier, like, the
yeah,
humans
yeah,
really annoy me. I feel like the zombies are just so much more grounded and like they're
hmm
characters that like you actually want to root for. I
yeah.
don't think they made the humans annoying on purpose. I think that might have been an accident. But like,
Oh, I see.
how did you feel about the adults in the movie?
Yeah, I mean, they all, again, like are exaggerated and just like very snobby and like just immature, like for lack of
Yeah.
a better word. Because yeah, I mean the principal, like she,
Oh, she's
like yeah, it,
terrible.
it almost is like they're acting. Well, it's weird because it's like I almost want to say that they're acting like little kids, but then little kids are more accepting like a lot of the times than adults. So it's yeah, but I don't know, just kind of their maturity, like just being. Yeah, just not open-minded at all. They just are super singular-minded. And I guess a question is like, why? Like, why?
Well, they do talk about it like a little bit because Bucky knows, which I think we shouldn't have told Bucky about the hair ever. I think growing up we shouldn't
Right,
have talked about
right.
it. But
Yeah,
he
wait,
says
why?
something
Yeah.
about he says our I think it's our grandfather was like bitten by a zombie, and she
Right.
goes, "Well, it was just a little bite or something." Like, which I'm not really sure what we're hinting at or suggesting there, but like
Well,
they
no, then there was another line where it said that his ear was whole, like, bitten off. There was
oh
a line
yeah, we
about that. Yeah, they
yeah,
like,
we
it just
don't
was
bite
very
off
quick.
ears anymore. We'll just talk your ear off. Yeah, they make a
Yeah.
lot of weird jokes about that. But
No, no,
I
because
don't
I think that
know.
was like part of the backstory. I think that like the incident with the grandfather was that his ear like got bitten off. But they
I was
just
just
like,
kind of violent.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. But they mention it so quickly that like you don't remember because, you know.
It's it's wild.
But I
So
guess for that family, that's why it's so like deep seated because that is very traumatic.
I think it should have been
Yeah.
like a little bit more talked about. Like that would have made a lot more
Mm.
sense. Because like the way that she's like, oh Zed, like my parents wouldn't accept you because you're a zombie, and like that's not surprising. But if she was like, hey, like the actual thing is like my parents are really against zombies because like my grandfather was attacked by one, like that would give us some real conflict. Not
That's
just they don't
true.
like you because of who you are. Like
Yeah, it would be more deeper because like yeah, I mean we don't see too many other human parents in the yeah like in the movie really, so it's
yeah, I
kind
don't
of
think we do at
like
all.
it's hard to tell if these parents are like even more strict about these kind of discrimination and
Well,
stuff.
she's the mayor and he's a police chief. I think that's why they give the excuse for being strict. But like we never see them like at work or anything, so I really would
Yeah.
prefer if the reason was because of what happened to our family. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Do you think like the other human parents, like, do you think that most of them are like kind of like even though they're not in the same roles, like, do you think that they're as strict as them, or do you think it's kind of more like 50-50? Like some parents are like, oh, this is the status quo, but some other ones are like, oh, yeah, maybe we should be a little bit better to them.
No, I think everyone hates them.
Got
Just
it, got it.
because just because of like the cafeteria scene and like because
Yeah,
everything's always such a big deal and Addison's the
that's
one who
true.
has to break the wall. Like there's no I feel like it
Yeah.
would be very rare if there were like these open-minded parents and then like their kid is like, "Oh, I hate zombies." Like,
Okay, that makes sense. That's a good point.
yeah, which I mean, it's just kind of funny like the way that they make them like choose things. Like the stakes are like in reality kind of not that high because they're like,
Hmm.
okay, Addison, pick a lane, zombies
Right.
or cheer. So you're picking either to stand up for a disenfranchised group of people or an
Hmm.
extracurricular.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get why the stakes are high for kids, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like in that moment she does pick the wrong thing. She's like, I guess I choose cheer. Sorry,
Right.
Zed. Game
I
over.
do love that like part of the movie is like cheer is just like the coolest thing ever. Like cheer is even bigger than football.
They have an enormous budget for cheer.
Yeah,
When he busts
yeah.
through that poster, that one comes down and they're like 12 behind him that look the exact same.
Right. Yeah.
Also, there's
And
no like faculty leader for cheer, which I think we need to
no,
get. I need to think we need to get an adult involved because this is not good. Also,
but
shout out to the stunt doubles. I only noticed a stunt double one
yeah.
time, so like good editing.
Oh, yeah,
It
that's
was in
true.
that fired up song. Addison does a backflip, and I could like tell for a moment it was like a different person.
Right, right.
But I was like, hey,
But
everyone else like good editing. I loved it.
I also
Um,
love that, sorry to interrupt you. I also love that they make cheer like they don't gender that. Like, you know,
yeah, I
Bucky, he's the head of the
appreciated
cheer
that.
squad. There's
There's
girls and
lots of
guys.
guys
Like
in
it's
cheerleader. Yeah.
very, yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I thought that I think that's interesting. Like I can tell like they're kind of trying with this movie because they really want the only division to be zombies versus humans.
Right, right.
So I do appreciate that. I do feel like they are kind of breaking boundaries, like we said, like with that, but also like they're breaking boundaries with Eliza being super into like technology. Like that is
Yeah,
so
yeah,
stereotypically a thing
yeah.
that men are good at. But I like
Right.
that like that's Eliza's thing. And that Bones is into
Yeah.
music. That's also like
Mhm.
he likes to play instruments and that's often female gendered.
Right. Yeah, so I feel like that's like another thing that this movie does pretty well is just like breaking some of the like it's ironic because it's like the main two fit into the gender roles of like a cheerleader, football player,
Yeah.
but they really with like the rest of the world flesh that out a lot. And yeah, I think it's just like really just trying to show like hey, like be proud to be who you are and like if you like something, who cares if the other people around you don't look like you or if, you know, if people think a certain way or something like that. Like it really is a movie of like stay true to yourself. And I think that's probably why they have like all these different depictions of, yeah, kind of just people liking things that you don't see a lot. Like you don't see a lot of boys that love to be cheerleaders. You don't see a lot of girl characters that love technology. So I think that's just so great because then it's like, especially for kids, seeing that, even seeing it once, it just kind of like it expands what they might feel that they are
Yeah.
allowed to like, you know.
I know. I wonder, like, I'm sure it was intentional, but I wonder, like, how much of it is, like, is that how things are at school now? Like, I would love that if, like, that was the case. Because, like, I just know, like,
Mm.
I mean, like, us growing up, I just think things were very gendered, and I'm sure things still are, but I do wonder, like, how many kids watched this, they didn't think anything of it. They were like, oh, yeah, this
Yeah,
character just
yeah.
happens to like technology. Or, like, oh, yeah, that makes sense because, like, he's gonna be, like, the head of the cheerleading squad. Or,
Right,
like,
right.
if they're, or if, like, they are kind of picking up on those things that we were just
Mhm.
talking about, how, like, they're doing this on purpose to kind of break certain boundaries. So I'd be
Yeah,
interested to see
I feel like with probably most kids, like, yeah, it kind of just goes over their head. Just because, like, I feel like with younger kids, it's like they're so
they're
much
not
more
paying attention.
open. Yeah, and like they're just kind of more like, like the younger you are, you're just like not as aware as you're not as aware of all these like stereotypes. So it's just kind of like, oh, like she likes to skateboard, cool. Oh, she likes technology, great. Oh, he likes cheerleading, you know. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like with Eliza, that one, if there were kids that did notice it, with Eliza, I think that one probably like they didn't notice it, especially because there's like a lot of push in recent years for like women in STEM and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one that I think people probably noticed, and probably the boys, and maybe no, probably the boys and the girls actually, was Bucky. I feel like Bucky
Yeah.
was probably like a super standout character because like he's a guy, he's in cheer, and also even just like he's a guy wearing pink and all these things.
Yes.
So that's like a huge thing. And I just oh, I love how like pink is just so big in this movie and like everyone likes pink and you know all these things.
Then we get to my favorite song in the Zombie Safe Room, which is Someday. I
Mhm.
think it's a lot of people's favorite songs because they sing it
Yeah.
a lot, like all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Um, I can't wait for us to do Zombies 4, which will have to be like way later down the line. But like something that so for those of our for our listeners who might not know, last summer, actually last July, Michaela and I went to New York City and we went to the Paley Center to watch a special screening of Zombies 4 because it had just come out. And I was like kind of catching up on the zombie stuff on my way over there because I hadn't
Right.
seen the
Yeah.
third one yet, but I watched it, loved it. I really liked a lot of things they did with Zombies 4. I really
Mhm.
liked the Freya Sky and the Malachi characters. I don't
Right.
remember their
Right.
names, but I liked their characters a lot. And I was drawing a lot of similarities in between their like love song, which I don't remember what it was called, and like Someday like comparing them I think is so cool. Like one day we're gonna
Mhm.
like I want to do a whole episode just dedicated to like comparing those two songs because I
Mhm.
think it's super interesting. Because when I'm watching Someday, I love it. I actually like listen to it in the car. It's on my playlist.
Yeah. No,
It's
it's so
great.
good. It really is really
Such a
good.
bop. But like every time that they kind of like she like pretends to eat popcorn, he like kind of
Mhm.
dances around her, and he like they kind of dance around each other a little bit less than like with each other. I think it's so cute. Like they
Mhm.
say at some point that they're freshmen in high school. Like it gives freshmen into high school vibes. I love it. It's super super cute. But
It's
then when
very
you go to
sweet.
like it's so sweet. Yes,
Mhm.
it's then like jumping into Zombies 4 with Malachi and Freya Sky. Their song feels very like mature. The song is like not up tempo, like that's a huge difference. Like theirs is like more of a
Mhm.
ballad, and it's about them kind of like they
Yeah.
like jump through the sky together.
I feel like
And
they
I
leaned more
just
into the like Romeo and Juliet because they were like very much
yes,
like our families were taught like I mean the whole franchise is like this but like
yeah,
theirs was very like our families really taught each other to hate each other and so it's very like just they're not supposed to be together all these things. There's I feel like
yeah.
there's more like external. Well, I don't know because like with zombies it's kind of the same with like Addison and Zed but it's I guess it doesn't feel as personal. It's just kind of like, oh, there's zombies, oh, there's cheerleaders. Whereas like
Yeah, it's different with them.
yeah, it feels like more like a family feud, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And like the stakes are much higher. Like if they don't get along, like they're gonna die because like that
Oh
fruit or
yeah, that's
whatever was
true.
dying. Like the
That's
stakes are
true.
like way higher. You're like, oh my gosh, like
Right.
it's huge. But like I just think like it just and like the thing too is like the coloring is also super different in that movie. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of like darker, richer colors. It feels like very portrait mode, where like this just feels like very like more like bright and friendly and stuff. 'Cause, I mean, like the
Yeah.
setting, sure, but like I really like Someday. I think it's very, very cute. I like how upbeat it is. I like how they're dancing and like Also, like her line where he's like, "Oh, you look delicious. Oh, I mean gorgeous," and she goes, "Well, now you're getting fearless." Like I like how they like play with each other. It's very cute, very playful. And then
And
they
they
have,
also like even just the music video kind of portion of it, like it's really cool because it's the set design is like very simple. Like they're yeah, in this
yes,
bunker, there's like a little bit of a light and stuff like that, but it's still so engaging because it's just like yeah, just seeing kind of their character story throughout the whole song and like the song's so good. But it's just interesting because it's like it's so much simpler um than the Zombieland like Bam song. Like that one
yeah,
is
that was
like
huge.
such a good number, but it's so like so much is happening. Whereas this one's
So
like
much
super
production.
yeah, yeah. This one's like just super like grounded and simple but like very, very memorable.
Yeah, and then they have the Someday reprise, which
Oh yeah.
if I didn't know what was coming in the next three movies, I'd be like, I'm so glad I get to hear it again. Little did I know I get to hear it four more times over the
Yes,
course of the
yes.
next three movies. I mean, I get it. You find one song that's really good and you want to keep repeating it. Someone in the writer's room didn't want to let this one go,
No.
which is fine. Ryder Strong did like he talked about zombies before just because like his kid
Right.
really liked it and
Right.
stuff, and he says that he likes the reprise better than the original.
Uh,
I knowing what I know about him based on the podcast, I kind of see that. But
mhm.
I do prefer the first one. Although I was kind of expecting to go and like hate the reprise because I've tried to listen to the reprise before and it just doesn't get me the way the original does. But I
Mhm.
did kind of like the way that it was used in the movie when it was just kind of like them kind of having more of like a real moment together.
Mhm.
He had like a big struggle because like his arm was really itchy or something because he plays with his Z band.
Right,
I
right.
was I wanted to know more of like what the stakes were with the Z band because we hear like you're not supposed to play with it, but I'm not like does it injure you? Because it seems to like be what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Like, cause he kept saying
I
his like arm was hurting. There was even a point where he was like, I can barely feel my arm. Like, yeah.
yeah. I was like because my wrist really hurts, and then Bonzo hugs me and goes, "Oh, I can't
Right.
feel my arm." I was like, "Whoa, this escalated
Right,
really
right. Because I guess
fast."
like part of the Z-band lore, it's like it has some electromagnetic shock or like it's some electricity or something. So like because he's overusing it, it's like it's almost like taking like too high of a dose of medication. Like it would really mess with
I
you.
guess that's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And then I don't want to nitpick, but like this really bothered me when they go to the ice cream shop and they have like four different kinds of vanilla or whatever. That was crazy. He turns himself human so he can please Addison's parents, and then he goes to the ice cream store and he's like, "This is so great! Like I'm not being heckled because I look like a human." I'm like, everyone in town knows who you are, Zed. There's one school in the whole town. They all know you because you're a football player for starters. He doesn't look different enough for people to be like, "Oh, it's just another human I've never met before."
I think that there's other high schools. Like even though they haven't
Oh,
shown them,
really?
yeah, yeah. So that I think that like whatever coffee shop they went to, like I think the world is big enough so that like if they did just go to a random coffee shop, there is a chance that most people wouldn't know who he is.
Okay, I'll buy
'Cause
that.
but yeah, that's the way I interpret it.
Eliza should be really concerned. Be like, Zed, what did you
Right,
do?
right.
She also likes to blame Zed for everything. She's like,
Yeah,
oh, Zed did something with the Z band when it was really the cheerleaders who stole her
right.
computer and like messed it up. She's like, Zed, I swear. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like Eliza like I feel like her character, I do like her, but I feel like her character could have been a lot better. Because, yeah, I feel like most of her character is just like nagging and like just negative or like, I don't know. I mean,
Yes, she's so
like they
negative.
do have kind of that like she's a social justice warrior type thing, which I think is cool. But yeah, I don't know. And also like something you wonder too is like, at least with some of the scenes in the beginning, you do think like, oh, is she jealous of Addison? Does she like Zed? But then they never ever go there. Like
Wow.
they're just
I
friends.
didn't,
But
yeah,
like we just need more Eliza backstory. Like we need
I do.
something else going on with her. Because like what I would like too is if she had some type of like goal that she wanted that Zed's actions like indirectly are like preventing her goal from happening. So that gives like another reason of why she's like even more mad at him because like there's
Yeah.
something else. Because right now it just feels like every inconvenience, yeah, is just oh it's his fault, it's his
I
fault.
know. And it's kind of bothers me because like I feel like she starts out so strong. Like in the opening number, she has this whole verse about like we want to
Yeah.
start a revolution, all of this. I was like, great.
Hmm.
She takes no steps in this revolution
Yeah.
whatsoever. Then when she
Yeah.
has the chance to at the cheer competition, which by the way comes out of left field, that's not set up at all. I'm like the minute we hit the cheer competition, she's like, I'm here for revenge. I'm like, wait a minute. This is
Hmm.
your chance to like actually make a change. That's the whole point of the
Hmm.
cheer competition really is because Addison's like, let's go up there and like fight for like justice and stuff.
Hmm.
And Eliza's like, I don't want to. I just want to like get revenge. I'm like,
Hmm.
no, this is I don't know. I think
There's
I just
also like
go ahead.
um because yeah, like with some of her lines, but not just her, but like with some of the zombies a little bit, like there is some hypocrisy because like there's some moments where they're like there's one line that Eliza has where it's like Addison just leaves the basement and then she's like, "Oh, it smells like human in here." So it's
Yes, I
interesting
was
that
like,
like
what in the world?
they right, like even though obviously like they're upset with the humans for discriminating them, like sometimes they also push it back to them, which is just
She's
it's
really
like
anti cheerleader.
yeah, yeah, which is interesting because it's like you can see like the frustration, but it's just hypocritical, because like if you really want them to be open to you, like you also need to, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, which I mean, honestly, now that we're talking about it, I'm a little bit on the fence about it because I do think that's a very real thing that happens with like real world discrimination.
Right,
Like,
right.
yes, you have
Yeah.
like the like people who think that they're superior and they're going to discriminate against the disenfranchised people. Like that happens, yes. But I do also think sometimes it is a little bit reversed where like I'm not going to call it like racism or whatever, but I think it's just
Hmm.
hard for them to accept people who are open-minded because there's
Hmm.
such a long history of distrust and all of and like just a lot of things that go along with that. So I do feel like
Hmm.
Eliza, like I think for this movie, I kind of would have preferred her to also be a little bit more open-minded, like Zed. I think like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
compare the two of them, it makes Zed seem a little bit naive, and I think
Right.
he kind of is.
Because
I guess he's like 14, 15. I don't know. I kind of feel like in real world situations, people who tend to be disenfranchised the way that the zombies are do have to grow up a little
mm,
bit faster because they're like kind of taught they
mm,
have to like protect themselves. So
yeah.
I just don't know how believable it is that is this naive. Like literally he sees Addison through a gate where he has to go through the zombies line and she's in the normal people line. And like he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in love." Which like cute, great, that happens a lot, I'm sure in high school. But
Right.
like I don't completely buy that he's like, I think she liked me too. Like she definitely did, but I just kind of feel like Eliza's stance makes a little bit more sense. She's like, I don't think she noticed you. Like I totally
Hmm.
get where she's coming from. That makes more sense. But I just think in a kids movie, I would have preferred for them to both kind of be a little bit more trusting, and I think it would not have read as naively if they both kind of were in this.
I think with Zed, like I think he's just like super optimistic, so that's
Yeah,
kind of why like he kind of like knows about everything, like he's not dumb or anything, but I think he's just really optimistic and like really just thinks that things can change. And then also like he part of his personality is kind of like he is charming, right? And he
yeah,
knows
he
that
is.
too. So I think that's why like he thinks that she likes him like despite everything. But then with Eliza, yeah, I feel like it would have been stronger if like she was really like trying to make alliances with some of the humans, like finding the ones that are like more open-minded, all these like that would have made more sense. Instead of her just being
Or trying to start a rebellion.
right,
Like, give Addison a chance. She's actually trying to, like, do a really hard thing in the premise of the movie.
right,
Like, stand up for, like, a group of people she believes in
mhm,
because she falls in love with one of them. But, like,
right, right.
love
But no,
that.
yeah, it's just like like Eliza would just make so much more progress if she was trying to kind of make those alliances and like wasn't so much just seeing every single human as like the enemy, you know? And yeah, so it's like on both sides, which is interesting. But maybe
Yeah.
maybe they have that to like show
Like,
like again, yeah, it's kind of not black or white. Like Eliza, like she's trying to fight for the right thing, but there's still kind of like some faults and flaws that she has with her approach and everything. So yeah, maybe like they kind of have her like that to just show like some morally gray areas, like on both sides. So it's not just like
right.
these are the bad people, these are the good people. It's like very, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the second movie very well, but I do think like I feel like everyone except for Addison is like super anti-werewolf, and it's almost like they made no progress. Like, okay, now zombies are
Yeah.
accepted, but now
Yeah.
like we have a different group of people coming in. They're like, oh, they're gotta be evil because they're monsters. I'm like,
Right.
so are the
No,
zombies.
that is
Like,
the thing that like is I don't I'd have to think more of like how they would potentially do it better, but like each movie it does feel like starting from ground zero. Like new people, oh my gosh, we're scared. Oh wait, now we learn to be accepting and it's like the same.
I'll wrap this up. But something I was thinking about was that Zed has a single parent. It's just his dad. We never hear about his mom. It just feels kind of stereotypical that it happens in Zombie Town. You know?
I never thought about that actually.
Have like a single mom or something. Like, and also we meet Eliza's mom very
Wait, but
briefly,
that also breaks a stereotype.
but
Single father
we
and not single
very sure,
mother.
yes, which is two thumbs up. We love that. But I was just kind of like, are they doing this on purpose, or is this like an unintentional bias, or like were we intentionally trying to give a single dad in Zombie Town to be like, this is what happens with all disenfranchised people, which is not the case. Like that would be
Mhm.
incorrect. But like I don't know. I just like want to know like why. Like it doesn't bother me, and he's a great father too. Like that's the other thing too. Like
Right.
he's very present in his kids' lives. He
He's the
loves
best
both of his
parent.
kids a
We have
lot.
to,
He is. He's like
yeah,
that's my
yeah,
son. Like he's in every
yeah.
football game. I love it. It's great.
Mm.
But it just makes me wonder like wouldn't it have been great if Addison had like a single parent?
It
Like
would be interesting, yeah.
because then I get like Seabrook's supposed to be perfect and her life is perfect except for her hair.
Yeah.
But like what if her thing was like one of her parents is like really absent or like because like that does happen. Everyone thinks that this
Yeah,
person has
yeah.
this perfect life, but you don't know what happens behind closed doors. Like it would have made her a little bit more relatable, I think.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting take on it. I wonder so like yeah, they never mention like his mom, right? Like they never mention like if
Ever.
she died or like yeah, just that's re I never even noticed that. Um 'cause I'm just yeah, now I'm so curious. Yeah, he could have had both parents. Not that like they gave the parents much screen time, but like he could have. Um,
I do feel like Zed has a lot of
yeah.
male role models in his life because he also is the coach, and like eventually they
Oh,
become like
underrated
very buddy buddy.
character. We have to give him a shout out. The coach is
He was
so
pretty good.
funny, and he's in
I
the other
think
movies too. Oh,
I think he gets better as the movies progress. I felt
yeah.
like this one was a little iffy, but he definitely gets better as the movies progress.
I have no notes. I thought he was amazing.
But he was pretty good. But it's like, I mean, that's good because a lot of times like that is an issue where like children will like maybe not have a father in their life and they have like no male role models and like it's a huge thing. But like Zed, he seems fine. I'm a little bit worried for Zoe because she seems to have very few female role models in her life. I guess she has Eliza and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But no,
I don't know. I
like
just
it's
kind of wanted to
interesting
like
the
talk about
point.
that because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, no, it is really interesting because like especially if they did do the whole family. Okay, I think the reason that they didn't do the family route, and I'll explain more about that, is because I think it would be like too too not dark, but like just kind of too like realistic or like hitting cl too close to home. Um, I don't know how to explain it, but because yeah, it would be really interesting if like Addison, she had a single parent and then Zed had both of the parents. And then that's something that like Addison really like notices with Zed and like Zombieland and stuff like that is like when she goes to Zed's house, it feels like a family, like and just really a
Yes.
warmth, whereas her family could feel like very cold or something like that. Um, so that would have been like a really interesting perspective. But yeah, I'm guessing that they didn't do that because like it just with yeah family situations like it can get so like sad so it's just I don't know maybe to like keep it lighter they didn't go that route but it still doesn't answer the question.
But we'll wrap some things up. How did you feel about the ending? With the whole like I just kind of felt like it felt very rushed. I mean, we hit the final football game, which I was like, how much
Yeah,
time has passed? Football's a long season. Like, what happened? We're at
yeah,
the final football game. She reveals her like wig hair. Everyone gets arrested for some reason. That was a little interesting. And then like
right.
all of a sudden we're in a cheer competition we've never heard about. And then for some reason, suddenly Bucky has to just get rid of every cheerleader who's ever like heard of a zombie. I was like, "Oh, zombie paraphernalia, you're out." I was like, "Whoa, what is happening?" Um, I thought the ending was great. You know, everyone kind of becomes friends until
Hmm.
zombies do.
Until zombies come.
Amends are made.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about it, and a lot of the zombies movies, just the end, just feel very rushed. Like I don't remember
Yeah.
like specifically the ends of the other ones, but I kind of remember like Zombies 3, like a lot of things wrapped up very, very fast. Um, Zombies 4, I just remember like when he was about to die and they sang Someday again, suddenly he got better very
Oh
fast.
yeah.
I was like, this
I
what
do
came out.
remember
Like, cause
that.
like, the whole movie was he was dying and then all of a sudden he's fine. I was like, we didn't
Yeah.
show any like positive growth here. It was just a lot of decline and then he was fine. Zombies 2, I don't really remember what happened, but I feel like this whole thing, like they had to like go to the prawn thing and like they found, I don't know, some sort of light or some moonstone or something and like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
wrapped up pretty
Moonstone.
quickly. Yeah, lots of things just wrapped up quickly and I was kind of wondering like, do you think they were in a time crunch? Because DCOMs were supposed to be 90 minutes. This one was 7
Yeah.
minutes over. I kind of feel like we should have cut the cheer competition and I feel like we could have extended the football season and it could have happened at a football
Mm.
game.
I think yeah, with a lot of the zombies movies and then at least some of like the later Descendants movies, they do seem rushed and I think it's just like they just don't know how to end it slowly. Like
No.
um but yeah, it's just I don't really know too much of what the solution would be, but yeah, like I have noticed that as well. I think that if I had one guess, like I think something that a lot of the Disney movies are doing now is like they just have too many characters. So that's the thing. It's like there's just too much going on. I mean, this movie itself, like, it's not too bad. Like, this is the smallest cast of all the zombies because the first
Yes.
one. But it's still like there's a lot going on in the movie. Like, there's, yeah, just a lot going on. So it's just like I think that's why it was probably hard for them to wrap it up because it's such a big world and so many things. And technically or not technically, like there are two protagonists. There's Zed and Addison. So that makes it even harder too. Because if it's just one character, like then you shave off a lot of time. So trying to wrap like both of those storylines. Um, but yeah, I feel like at least with like the newer zombies movies and then definitely like the newer Descendants, it's just they have too many characters. And I don't
And they add more. That's like the worst part is like they just like as the movies go on, they just
yeah.
add more and more. They're like, you know what? We should have more descendant kids. I'm like, did you have to start with four? You could have started with two. I think in an earlier draft there was something that set up the cheer competition, and so
Hmm.
like they felt like they had to have that happen. But I think what they could have done is they could have cut the cheer competition completely because like football and cheerleading already integrate so well together, and they've been
Yeah.
doing that the whole movie. The last game where Zed ends up in jail or whatever, it didn't have to be the playoffs because first of all we didn't know who we were playing. There wasn't enough like
Hmm.
setup for me to feel really strongly that this was the playoffs. Like there,
Hmm.
like I don't know a lot about sports, but I do know that there are multiple rounds before you get to like a final playoff. So like, what if like the one where he goes to jail is like a semi something, and like they win, or like it has to stop on a technicality that everyone turned into a monster or whatever, and then like the next time is like the playoffs, and we have a big halftime show, which could have been the cheer routine that falls apart instead of going to a new location, a new this, a new that, and like maybe
Hmm.
Eliza wants to sabotage the halftime show for the same reason she wants to sabotage the competition.
Hmm.
Like the same stuff could happen. It's just the same location, and I don't think it would have felt like as sped up
Hmm.
because like then we could have done something like a better version of Stand, where Addison like maybe she's already revealed herself in Stand, like all that happens, but then she like we all come together and we're like we have a reason as to why Zed was able to come back and play this final football game. And then we
Hmm.
talk about this, and that's kind of how everyone is able to kind of get together. I just don't
Right.
know that it would have felt as rushed. Like, adding a whole new location didn't make a lot of sense for lots of reasons. Also, like,
Right.
monetarily, that didn't make sense either. Like,
They definitely had a budget. Like, because I mean, this movie is so big, like, and it looks so good. I mean, I don't know what the budget was, and it definitely was the smallest out of all of them, but like,
yeah.
they had a budget. Like, they really spent money on this. I think that the issue was just having two main characters. It's just so hard to like keep it even. Because like if you got
Yeah.
rid of the cheer stuff, or at least like the cheer competition, like it feels kind of like Zed technically I would say is like the first main character. Because like we open up with him It is titled Zombies. Those are his people. So I feel
He's
like if
also the first one to be credited. Milo Manheim is,
yeah, so like if
which
there
is
was like a
interesting.
number one, I would say it's him. But I also feel like I feel like a lot of people would argue it's Addison in some ways, because so I just feel like that's the thing. It's like those two characters are constantly not them itself, but like battling for like who's the number one. So that's kind of
Yeah.
why I think that they didn't cut the cheer stuff because they were like, oh, well, we don't want this to just be like Zed's movie and it's only about the football game. Like, we want cheer to be just as important and like not to be overshadowed by the football. Um, but okay, I think my main takeaway from the like characters conversation and like the rushed ending, the original creator was right. This should have been a TV show.
So
Because then they could flesh out all of these characters. Like they would have so much more screen time. They could really like they could actually just like have a lot of characters and like it makes sense and like have some episodes like focus on certain storylines and all these things. Like a TV show would have been so great.
I know
That's
it
my
does make me
takeaway.
wonder. Like, I do wonder like what the pilot was like. I don't think they could have accomplished all of this in like a 20-minute
No.
pilot. So it makes me
Yeah.
wonder like what was cut, like what was added, like do we add characters because it was a movie so we felt like we had more time?
hmm
Like I would just really love to see this unaired pilot like so
And I think
badly.
like doing oh yeah, 100%. I
Like
think
Luke Benward,
also
if you're out there, please contact
yeah.
us. If you have the
Yes.
script or would like to talk to us.
Yes. The original pilot, did that even ever have music in it? Like, was it always a musical? Because that, I think, might be
I'd have
why
to say
they,
no.
yeah, because that might be why they turned it into a movie. Because it kind of, a lot of the times, like, is easier for, if you wanted to have, like, a lot of music and, like, to be a musical, it is easier to have it in a movie format. But maybe, yeah, I can't tell if they were thinking of music for the TV show or not. Because both Luke Benward and Maya Mitchell, they both
They can
sang.
sing.
So,
Yeah, I would say no because I just think like it would take too much time. But I do want to say like that does remind me. I thought all of the songs in this movie were very efficient. Like I feel like they all
oh,
served a
that's
very
true.
good purpose. Like the whole point
Yeah.
of like a musical, well, Golden Era more. It was really
Mhm.
like music was there to move the plot along, and I really felt like that happened here. Like fired up like the cheer
Yeah.
song, like that was so
Yeah.
efficient. I really liked it because I thought it was
That's a good point.
like we didn't have to spend a whole lot of time at cheer practice because we had the whole song that explained it to us. The
Mhm.
opening number was really cute and like it kind of introduced us to like the both of the towns and the culture, like with the whole rap thing we talked about earlier. Like that was
Yeah.
cool. I mean, someday I wouldn't say that's super efficient, but obviously I
No,
in
no,
love with the
no.
song.
It was, it
So
was. Because
well, they
like
already had a
that,
relationship going.
no, no, but like, especially for like, I feel like the younger kids, that like really cements it. Because like, I feel like just in the beginning, it's kind of like, oh, they're friends, like whatever. But like that song, it's like, oh, okay, this is the couple, the main couple of the thing. And yeah, I feel like I know what you're saying, but I feel like that was
Yeah.
so like emotionally like they needed that 100%.
I liked it. Yes.
Yeah.
I since we can't remember when Someday Reprise occurs, that might have been
Yeah.
unnecessary. We don't remember
Yeah.
it, so it
I
could probably
yeah,
go away.
I think that that was because like you do a reprise in Zombies 2, which I know that they do, but
Which they
like
do, don't worry. Reprise number three.
yeah, I don't think it needed to be in this one, but I think that when they first made this movie, I don't think they realized at all how big it would get.
No, I
And
don't. I don't
so
either.
that's probably why they were like, we love this song so much, like might as well do it two times
Let's
because
throw it in
that
again.
might be the last time. But then yeah, it obviously was very successful. But
Yeah, all in all, I liked it. I think
Mhm.
like it's not my favorite. I do think like the classical DCOMs are just kind of generally written better, and I think it's because they were trying to target a wider audience and an older audience. That's kind of my main takeaway. Someday is a bop. I'm probably gonna listen to it 100 more
Right
times.
after
It's just
this.
so good. Right after
Yeah.
this, I'll just be jamming to it in my room or something. I don't know, love it. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed talking about this movie, and I really enjoyed kind of our discussions about how discrimination is presented, especially with the single dad, and like how
hmm
I thought that was just really interesting because I don't I think Descendants might attempt it, but I really think Zombies is does a better job of it than Descendants does, and of course better than
hmm
other movies who are really kind of just tackling brainiacs versus jock bullies sort of stuff.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, I really enjoyed this discussion. That's kind of my takeaway. Do you have any final thoughts before we close out?
Um, I guess one thing I'll say is to my friends that way back when I first watched Zombies and I told y'all to watch it and y'all didn't believe me. I'm very glad that now I can laugh at that story and be like, if only they knew. This franchise, I don't know why, like I just always really liked it. So very happy to see it succeed and to be talking about it to this day.
Yes. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music at Sitcom Queens. We recently have a Reddit. Do you want to tell them about a Reddit account?
Yeah, so we have a Reddit account also at Sitcom Queens. And yeah, there we're gonna be popping in on some relevant forums like slash TV show, slash DCOMS, slash sitcom, stuff like that. So yeah, if there's any kind of like questions that you want to ask us there, or we'll be asking questions if you want to comment, we would love to hear your guys' thoughts. So
Yes, and feel free to email us, sitcomqueens@gmail.com. We'd
mhm.
love to hear from you guys. Yeah, we want to know like what you guys think. We did Good Luck Charlie recently because that was one of your favorites when we did our March Madness bracket. We want to hear more of your favorites. We'll look at the bracket, see what other had some other pollings. We'll definitely pull from that for future episodes. But thank you guys so much for staying with us, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. This episode of Sitcom Queens was produced by Michaela and Aldyn. This episode was edited by Aldyn. Sitcom Queens is a You Really Care Productions and Girly Productions production.